Hi, math friends. Today we're looking at the least common multiple. So when we look at this, we need to think of a skill that we learned before with multiples, how to make multiples. So we're going to list them. Um, if we don't see any that are in common or that are the same, we'll list a few more. Uh, and then we'll find whatever common multiple is the lowest value. So there are an infinite number of common multiples for numbers, but we want the least or the lowest one. So let's go ahead and see with this example, the least common multiple of 6 and 10. So I want to just start listing multiples. So like 6, and then 6 times 2 would be 12, 6 times 3 would be 18, and so on. So I would suggest just listing a few of them. You don't have to list like 10 or 20 or have any set number really. And then go ahead and let's do the same for 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. And then we're going to see, did we get any numbers that are the same here? If it helps you to cross numbers out, that's fine. So 6, there's no 6 down here. 12, there's no 12. 18, there's no 18. 24, there's no 24 down here. 30, there is a 30 down here. So those match up. And since we want the least common multiple, we don't need to go any further here. Okay. I would double check also. So make sure, like, here's a 20. There's no 20 up here. There is a 24, but there's not a 20. So that doesn't work. And 10, there's no 10. So it's important to double check because sometimes we might make an error and skip it. But we just found 30. So we're going to say the least common multiple, or the LCM, of 6 and 10 is 30. So that's how we would phrase our final answer. If we're writing it, we would circle it. If we're typing it, we would just type it. But that value would be 30. Let's look at another example. What is the LCM of 15 and 45? So 15, 30, 45. So I noticed here when I started making multiples, 15, 30, 45, that actually the last number was the first number of that. So when I start listing multiples for 45, I notice that I have that number right away. So that happens sometimes. Sometimes the LCM is one of those numbers. So this one was actually pretty quick here. The LCM of 15 and 45 is 45. All right, and remember when we're listing multiples, it's 15 times 1, 15 times 2, 15 times 3, but we actually write the whole number down. All right, let's check out one more example. What is the LCM of 12 and 13? So we're going to go ahead and start listing multiples. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72. So I'm just going to pause there. We might need more, we might not. Go ahead and list the ones for 13. So 13, 26, 39, 52. Okay, so do we have anything in common yet? So let's go ahead and start looking at these. So I have 12. I do not have a 12 down here. We have 24. There is not a 24 down there. 36, there's not a 36 there. Let's go ahead and look at 48. There is no 48 down here. There is no, well, there might be a 60. So we're actually going to pause there. So then let's check with the 13s, right? There wasn't a 13, there wasn't a 26, there wasn't a 39, there was not a 52. So we have to continue our list here. Unfortunately, sometimes that happens. So let's go ahead and write down a few more multiples. So a different way to do this too, instead of thinking like 13 times 1, 13 times 2, you can keep adding 13. Okay, so we get 65, 78, 91. I'm just going to list one more, 104. All right. Up here for 12, 84, 96, 108. All right, so we're past 100 on both of these. Let's go ahead and see if we matched anything. So 60, we don't have a 60, we have a 65. 72, we don't have a 72. 84, we don't have. 96, we don't have. And 108 is above this, so we'll hold that for now. It doesn't look like it, though. But over here, 65, no. 78, no. 91, no. 104, no. We don't have a common multiple yet, but we should always have a common multiple. I made the comment that every set of numbers has an infinite number of common multiples, because if you keep going forever, you will find more and more and more. Okay, so let's keep adding 13 here. We'll just keep going a little bit more. 43, 156. Okay, so I'm going to pause there. Multiples of 12, so 120, 132, 144, 156. So it looks like we got something that matches with that 156. Let's just go through and make sure. So there's no 108. There's no 120. There's a 132. That's not the same as 130. 144 is close to 143, but 156. All right, so we have a common multiple here. All right, so the LCM, or the least common multiple, of 12 and 13 is 156. So sometimes it takes a little while, but if we persevere, we'll be able to find that. So that's a way to find the least common multiple by listing multiples.